And check this out.
A little late on that one. Welcome to a tabletop review on all things Snowspeeder, the Nutnfancy project. We're just going to have a good time, dudes.
Oh, man. We found something new. Something we never thought would happen.
Right.
We thought we hit peak Snowspeeder in 2010 when they came out with the vintage collection.
Which, by the way, we're going to show you.
Fantastic. Excellent. They made something even more tempting.
So amazing.
Oh, it's impressive. But it's a good excuse to break out some of the older ones and do a retrospective of one of the greatest kids' toys ever created.
Okay, so I know this is going to be rubbing the lamp, and perhaps you guys are going to say, hey, more toy reviews, like official toy reviews. We can't promise that. I mean, I have so much content right now. That's probably the last thing I need to do.
Yeah.
We'll just see. Maybe once in a while we'll do a review series like we're doing now on things you've seen in the background, you may have wondered about, props we've used on the tabletop reviews for years now. And this is, again, about the Snowspeeder and all its iterations. I wouldn't say all, but we do have a fairly good collection of Snowspeeders. Now, let's go back. Well before TMP. Well before the year 2000. I wanted my boys to be exposed to Star Wars because of its high play value.
Yeah.
It's just a cool toy selection, a great imagination can propel these vehicles into other universes. And so I got copies of the original movies long before they were cool.
Yep.
The original trilogy.
Pre-special edition.
Pre-special edition.
We used to have to rent the old ones. I remember that.
I showed the boys these when they were little. So they were brainwashed into the original trilogy. And their dad was saying this is the coolest movie ever. Well, not the coolest, but it's pretty cool.
Up there, man.
And the vehicles, like you're seeing here, very intriguing.
Awesome looking.
We also love the A-Wing, the B-Wing, and some of the original trilogy vehicles as well.
Yeah. It doesn't have that thing where the hero vehicles are awesome and the evil vehicles are terrible and
right. We like them both.
And organic. They both have very different styles, and they make sense in universe.
I agree, and they look technical.
Yeah.
So if you go to the Star Trek vehicles, they're cool. There's some of them I look at, I go, those are rad. But I think if you were to compare any space movie or TV series, Star Wars does it for me. I think the original one, absolute the best. And, there's some cool vehicles. Like in the Alien series, there's some cool vehicles there too. The TV series, Ancient, 1999. That's where that one is. See that blue one over there? I've shown it. That's a 1999 spaceship. But still not as cool as Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay, so the boys forever were exposed to Star Wars. And along with that quest that I had as their dad, I wanted to have them experience the very cool 3.75-inch world of Star Wars. So in this tabletop review, we're going to show you, get ready, an original 3 3/4-inch scaled Snowspeeder.
Yeah, buddy.
Tell them how we found that and what was the process to find that.
Those are some of my earliest memories, just going to comic shops and like almost pawn shops, those kind, just places that traffic used flotsam that people no longer want. We tried using the old Kenner like pamphlets. It would show you the lines for 1980, 1980. We would go through those and check which ones we wanted to find, and we'd go on the hunt for them. And you used to be able to go to comic shops and they would just have each little figure individually wrapped in like a little plastic baggie on the countertop.
Used,
and they would,
lightly used from a collection of some sort.
Yeah, from some kid, the mom comes in, my kid's at college now, here, I'll give you $5 for the lot.
Right.
And they would part them out at, $1, $2 until you got to the rare ones.
It was so fun going through those figures, by the way. And you want to have fun with your kids. If you can find a place like that, I still say do it. I think they're harder to find.
Yeah.
That one comic book shop in Spokane was amazing. They had a good fleet of original Star Wars figures.
They had
and
all the
vehicles.
The weird ones, like the Rebel Transport.
Slave One.
The little cattle car thing.
All the Snowspeeders, the Land Speeders. Yeah. The Millennium Falcon.
They had them all like wired to the roof. Decoration. They would never sell that damn B-Wing.
Well, never say never, because I got them to sell it to me.
Sweet.
Yes. Okay, so I don't know what year this is from. TD is like way up on the canon of Star Wars, and I'm sure there's YouTube channels that know all the specifics. Oh, yeah. I don't. I have a broad stroke working knowledge of things Star Wars, but we're going to have a good time. And that's what this is about. That's what the channel's about. That's Sam, our unpaid, ununionized model on the table. She's awesome.
Yeah, I don't cut.
Yep, the Hattori Hanzo. And let's start off with these action fleets. Snowspeeders.
These are
so cool.
This was like a offshoot of Micro Machines.
Get them real close so they can see.
I'll start with the.
Sorry, Sam. We're going to zoom in a little bit here.
These were like 1995. They had the little guys. It was kind of a smaller scale to focus on the vehicles and not so much the characters. Because a lot of kids can't really play with the giant vehicles. They can't own them. The parents don't have a place to store them. It was easier to do this if you just want to have space battles and blow stuff up.
I think these are fantastic.
These are awesome.
They were cost effective. They had so much play value. They had a retractable front skid on them, right? They were easy to store, for one thing, so they didn't take up a lot of room. They were durable to play with. The cannons didn't come off.
Yep.
They had, and they still do, you can see operating speed brakes right here. We've lost one on that one.
Well, it's in the bin. I just didn't want to dig it out.
Okay. We do take care of our toys, by the way. You may detect that. I mean, this is from, like you said, what, 1995?
Yep.
This is the Action Fleet collection. I think the scale is 1/64.
It's awesome.
And it does come with pilots. They'll fit in there. Look, it even has a rear harpoon / gunner. What was his name again?
Dak Ralter.
There you go.
In fact, I have his representation right there.
Look
at that.
Wow. What's year? What's the year on that one? Flip it over.
2011, I bet.
That is? So that's pretty fresh.
Kinda. We haven't really bought figures so much anymore. They went away from the cool superposable stuff, super detailed, and they did like back to the 70s, 5 points of articulation, and we kind of checked out.
And they also went back and they're focusing on the newer Star Wars movies, which I don't care for.
Whoa.
They're just so bad. We're going to concentrate on the good, though.
Yeah.
The vehicle. So anyways, look at the play value for this. You can do setups, and that's what we call it. So I've done videos actually about how to play with your children, and setups is what we do. So you have the Imperial setup, you'll have the Rebel setup, like in a living room floor, and then you execute a battle.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
It's the prep, it's the organization, it's the preparing the battlements.
And the debate during the battle of what takes what out and how it came about. Right?
Grounded in something. It's this is an invisible laser. Oh, well, I have an invincible laser shield.
Well, this is a radar cannon. And then sound effects came into play.
Yeah.
So really fun to play with your kids that way, and both the boys were raised that way. Last Suspect actually was raised kind of by you in that manner, because there's 7 years difference between you guys, and so you would take up the banner of setups with him. Yeah. So Action Fleet, show him this one.
This one is awesome. Cool. This was like a...
Do you remember the name of that one?
I don't think it has. It's just the variant.
Look at that.
I think this was... Gray. That's one of my favorite things about Action Fleet. They were able to put out some of the paint jobs from the old concept art that never made it to screen. Yeah. And I think this one was just a little too complex, and it doesn't really make sense on a snow planet. Not very good camouflage.
Well... Maybe, but in the canon, isn't there a situation where they were just kind of slapping things together for defense? And wasn't the Snowspeeder itself a repurposed hauler? Or what was it, like a utility vehicle or something?
Yeah, that's what the little cable that they used to tie up the
it wasn't
walkers.
Meant as a combat vehicle.
No, it was just a utility thing, kind of like a shuttle thing. I think it was meant to pull cargo or something.
Okay.
Kind of like a towing aircraft.
Another attraction to us for the Star Wars canon, at least in this era, is that they were cobbling together parts and things just to form a battle fleet. And you see that in the original trilogy. If you look at all the ships, they're non-standard. They're all different. The medical frigate, completely different.
And like the Y-Wing, how that's stripped of armor. So it used to have sheet armor, and that's why it looks like all... Because it wasn't worth it, they'd prefer more agility. It really well thought out.
maybe we do a Y-Wing video later.
Some cool Y-Wings, too.
We have a good selection of Y-Wings, dude.
Yeah.
We got Action Fleet Y-Wings, and we've got 3 3/4 inch scale.
Yep.
So we're going to give this series an A+. You might be able to find the original Action Fleet 1/64 scale Snowspeeders and other vehicles. They're all highly recommended. You can see how old these are and how in what good condition they are. We store them in a bin, so a plastic bin with a lid. That's why this cannon's kind of busted.
Yeah.
But if you take care of them, if you teach your children, as I did, how to take care of their toys, they're going to last.
And that's something that pays dividend. I notice that, and it drives me crazy with a lot of people's kids when they don't even teach them. They don't put in an effort of, okay, you be gentle when you close this, and that translates into everything. Yeah, it translates into how they take care of cars, how they take care of other people's stuff.
If they can't take care of their toys, they're not going to take care of all the other things that you give them or they earn in life. Mm-hmm. Okay, so say goodbye to Action Fleet. Very sad, by the way.
If you like these, they're great desk toys. Like little cubicle things.
And they came with stands, so that is a pinhole for a stand. One other point I want to make with this is in scale, it's a lot easier and a lot funner to make a setup with these.
Yeah.
Because you can make a 1/64 scale combat situation with these vehicles in your living room, and it's like more real. And you use the bigger figures, you need a yard.
It's big.
You need a backyard.
It's really cool. Like you can turn a shelf in the kitchen into, that's your frigate you're launching from.
Right.
And you're launching into the atmosphere.
Yeah, that's your landing pad runway.
Yeah, it's a bit harder to do it with the bigger scale. So we'll put it aside.
So we kind of went to the mid-90s on that one, and now we're going to show you our original scored from the comic book shop 3 3/4 inch scaled Kenner Snowspeeder, and I got to tell you right off the bat, I did mod this.
Yeah.
Nutnfancy, you mod everything. I do. I really do. And I wanted it to be cool for the boys. Take it away, TD.
The 1980 Snowspeeder.
Look at that. And the landing gear still works, dude. That is an original Snowspeeder in the Nutnfancy clan. We've had it for so long.
With I'm pretty sure some of these are a spare sticker pack from the Millennium Falcon.
Correct.
Right? The 1995 release.
Or the Slave One.
Yeah.
So, and I'm such a nerd, I actually wrote Kenner and got extra decal sheets back in the day.
They used to be great about that.
I said, hey, I need another decal sheet. They're like, yeah, no problem. That's where these came from.
They were great.
So they don't exactly fit, but they added a lot of interest.
Yeah.
Okay, and what you're going to see is the detail on this is going to be completely, and the mold is different than the modern one.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to do some comparison and contrast.
It's really interesting how Kenner made these things freaking back in the 70s, 80s, and they got so much mileage out of these molds. They built them back when the original movies released.
Right.
Then they decided in about 94, I think, to bring the figures back and start producing them. That's the battery compartment.
I know, but I was just double checking because I didn't remember if the speed brakes came up, but they don't. Look at how yellow the glass is.
Yeah. We've done our best with these to keep them as nice and fresh as possible, but...
So you're saying they got a ton of mileage out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this one, the cannons come off all the time.
All the time.
So I actually put double stick tape, which by this time, after 20 years, has lost its stick. That way we didn't lose the cannon, though. My big fear on this original, as the boys played with this.
Yeah.
This was a playing vehicle. So after I bought it from the comic book shop, we didn't put it on the shelf, and we didn't just don't touch it, even though it was special. I taught them how to take care of it, and they played with it, though. How excited were you when you got this for Christmas, by the way?
This is a Christmas one.
Yeah.
And that used to be one of our things. You'd hide the vintage. Because keep in mind, when we were getting these, they didn't have them. It wasn't, you couldn't go to the store.
You didn't go to the store to get
You didn't find it. It was a search, and you're looking for other people who had presence of mind to not throw it in the garbage, or at least keep it around. Sometimes you'd hear, I think I have some. And it would always be in poor shape, missing stuff, everything's busted.
Yeah, missing a cannon. And the comic book shops we scoured back in the 90s, they would have a Snowspeeder, but it wouldn't have a canopy lid, wouldn't have a cannon, wouldn't have the harpoon gun. So finding one like this, and I think this one came like it is now, right? It was complete. And it wasn't like super cheap. I didn't get it for $10. The guy knew it was special. He goes, I forget the price, but it was, at the time, I think, kind of expensive.
It was.
But I was like, hey, whatever, dude, I want it.
To this day, that still counts, and I'm pretty sure people have started making spare parts for some of these.
Really?
Because I see people doing restorations on old toys, and they'll get the plastic back to white. And
Okay, this wasn't electronic, was it?
It was, actually. It takes like 2 C batteries in one of these pylons.
Where's the button you press?
The button is that one.
Oh, damn.
I took the batteries out.
We should have seen if it still works. I bet you it does.
It does. It just goes. It doesn't even sound like a laser. It sounds just like a motor.
It's sad we didn't put it in. So maybe at the end of the video, if it's working, we'll tag it in at the end of the video. If not, then it wasn't working. Okay, and this is cool here. So the harpoon, which very surprisingly seems very small, both in the movie and on all the Snowspeeder toys.
Yeah.
Is that right? Is it in scale here?
That's what I loved about it. This is probably the most screen accurate, if I had to remember. Because the harpoon was attached to the back of the strakes. We didn't have the harpoon with this one. We had to wait till the newer version. But it kind of just had like a little attachment here that it fired. And that's what I loved about the old ones. They were pretty accurate screen-wise.
Right.
And once we got to the 90s, they started doing away with that in interest, as you'll see on the other Snowspeeder.
Don't these light up too?
Yeah.
I thought these light up when you press the C batteries in and go.
It's got like light bulbs in here.
Super cool.
Go off.
Super cool. So you were super stoked when this came out.
Oh yeah.
Is there a date on the bottom of this one?
Yep, 1980. Lucasfilm, Kenner Products, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Amazing.
Very cool.
I think their Kenner toys were a big hit in the 80s, weren't they? They sold like crazy. All these larger Star Wars toys were phenomenal. And now we go on in time with our Snowspeeder review, TD.
Not even that long after. We had gotten this after doing our search, and just about the same year, if I remember right, we had opened the Star Wars Insider magazine where they give you a sneak preview.
We used to subscribe to that in the 90s, and that was, they were really excited when the new Star Wars movies were being made.
It was awesome.
Okay.
And we got to see the new Redux of the same vehicle, but new and improved with 90s technology.
Wow.
Oh, I thought that I could have sworn the battery system.
We should have checked the batteries. Sorry. Oh, that one is awesome.
So the same mold, only slightly changed up.
We didn't dust it off. Sorry.
Different stickers.
That dude. I don't know if that's the same mold though. Look.
It's more weathering.
So let's see. Yeah, it is the same mold. You're right.
That's the biggest difference, right?
Yeah, but they added this detail. But if you look at the mold here, it is the same mold. You're right. So they just dusted it off and put more detail under the cannon.
It blows me away that they kept all that. If you think that's like 20 some odd years later, they kept the molds and they said, you know what? We could re-release that.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Look at the harpoon. This is what you're talking about.
Yeah, I always hated that. I would
and this one's shot. It's spring loaded, and you have a harpoon thing that loads in there.
Yeah, and you can attach the harpoon. Wiggly. We still have it. It's just in the accessory thing. I have them all librarily cataloged.
That's kind of got some slop in there, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Let's send it back for warranty work.
Yeah, they should take care of it.
Now, these stickers came with it, right, in the pack, and the painting came with it. So this is more detailed, cooler. You got a sticker right here showing some weathering.
Yeah.
Super cool. Is that the original figure?
No,
Look, you got the harpoon dude in there too, man.
Yeah.
You got Dak in there.
I've got Wedge in the back. I couldn't find the Dak's still in package.
Oh,
and then this is the original 95 Kenner one. It was kind of funny when they came back, they were in the 90s style. They thought kids want superhero bodies. So if you don't remember Luke Skywalker being super jacked.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Look at that. And they all have this weird,
not good,
like butt out, chest up
their ass
pose.
Is like pushed out.
Feels like I'm wearing nothing
this is a later one when they articulated it right and
finally
made it more realistic.
Yeah. They really learned as time went on what the collector market wanted and what sold.
Okay, that's an interesting point. So you're saying that they were actually later on not making them for the kids, or making them for the collectors.
Yeah, definitely.
And that trend continued throughout, right?
Yep.
Here's a look at the top of the canopy. So you have a decal that gives you some detail there.
Very cool looking.
And this isn't broke, right? This just kind of
it's
goes
just kind
in
of
there.
loose.
And I think they made it so you could take it off so kids could actually get the figures in, right? Okay, this is electronic too. We said that, right?
Yep.
The guns on this, I remember, come off real easy. Am I right?
They all
We were always running around trying to keep them on.
But these ones are clear too. It has like a flying sound and then a cannon sound.
Dang, we should.
But this too needs giant batteries.
Speed brakes don't deploy.
That's the best.
Oh yeah, look, there's some corrosion in there from our original battery set. There it is.
The 96, the year after the Galoob ones came out.
Nice.
That's some great weathering for that
And there's
time.
the buttons that you actuate the sounds with.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Cool.
Hold it right in front. sick. Are the lights lighting up?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let me turn it off.
It's hard to tell that way.
Oh yeah, dude, check that out. Oh, that's cool. So excellent.
That's
nice.
So cool.
Hit the cruise sound again. God, that's cool. So that's a 2010, or that's a 1995.
Yeah, the 95.
Yeah, that's a 95 one. Look at that,
Isn't that
dude.
cool?
So this one's still working. We tried the other one and it's dead.
It's really hard. The battery contacts were not designed for a 50-year life cycle.
Right.
I love that Kenner was smart to do that too when they did these. They made it so you could press the shoot button as many times as you want.
Yeah, I like that. So you can go like rapid fire on it.
You paid $30 for this.
This is a box top to this one. Toys R Us is where I bought this one for the boys.
Yep.
This is the original box top. I flattened it, and that's how we store it. And TD just found this. He's like, dude, you saved the box top to that.
Yeah. So
super cool.
Really cool. Great improvement. And it still kept everything in scale, kept it all nice and pretty.
Well, not the harpoon.
We were content about this. This is pretty good. We didn't think it could get better till 2010. That's when they were really courting the collector market and when they finally went for broke.
Okay, and this is a different mold, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
This
entirely
is a different
new mold.
And it looks to be a little bit smaller, right?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Check that out.
Look at battery acid dried up right there.
Sweet.
Yeah, so that's a 2010 Snowspeeder, still by Kenner, correct?
Yep.
Look at that. That is cool. And the electronics are bye-bye, are they
Gone.
not?
Gone in the interest of screen accuracy.
Oh, you got deploying speed brakes on
cool?
that one.
Full speed brakes.
With primer on the underside.
Yep.
Even better.
Very cool. And
yes.
they let you change. I think Luke's had the panel removed.
Yeah, you can do battle damage.
That they needed to do maintenance right before the battle and they couldn't put on the stuff again.
Look
so you
at
can,
that.
You can
yes.
configure it like his.
Super cool.
Very cool. Nice. The canopy, nice little divot in front that you can get.
How's the canopy compared to the originals? Does it pop off or
100 times better? Trying to do it nice and easy.
And you do have to be easy with these toys. Don't store them where it gets super duper hot.
Yeah.
It bleaches out the plastic and it becomes brittle.
Now this...
That is cool.
This is... I think this is the dude that went looking for Han. Yeah, you can tell by his withered, weird face. Zev Seneska.
Interesting.
Very cool that they would do one of those. And I think he came with this. It was kind of a special
Porkins
little
not
pack.
doing it?
Porkins done died, man.
That's sad.
Porkins died. Look at that. You even have little controls in the back.
Look at the detail of the cockpit.
That's awesome.
Which for the time was very cool.
Oh, yeah.
It still is. What are you saying?
They could release this till the end of time, and I think collectors would be sated.
Collectors, but do kids care anymore? That's the sad part. Because if you go down the toy aisles in stores now, they are a ghost town. Or they're just these ridiculous comic book figures. They're not the cool stuff like this.
I think that's part of the problem, though.
I feel like they have to have a movie fueling this stuff. And there's no movie selling this stuff right here. So when it was digitally remastered and the VHS tapes came out again, remember they released a whole bunch of Star Wars stuff?
Yep, that was when the first surge started. Then a few years later, they did the special editions where they went into movies and kind of did the entire thing. That's when it really went mainstream.
Yes.
Honestly, I think toys could be doing a lot better today if they went more towards this. I think they're chasing this invisible marketing mainstream child, because all the stuff they make doesn't sell, and it's always gimmick based, and it's like all the newer vehicles are inaccurately shaped. They don't have the cockpit where it should be.
Right.
Scaled weird. It's not gonna bring in any kids, so of course kids won't come in.
And still to this day, like when Doodle and I are together in a store like Walmart or Target, we'll swing by the toy aisle just to see if things changed. Not that we're going to get anything, it's just interesting to check.
Yeah.
And it's bleak.
Utter bafflement.
It's bleak. I mean, there's no cool stuff out there.
It's like it's made for... There's an interesting video out there.
It's been that way for years.
Yeah. They made a... Who was it? There was a video someone took in like a a destruction center where they recycle stuff, and it's literally them throwing huge unopened boxes of Star Wars Last Jedi merchandise into the shredder. Just boxed up, fully done, hucking it, box after. It was that unpopular, and they so overstated the quality of both the movies and the toys. It's just... I
thought you said that was for the latest Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
The latest Star Wars movies, because they're so awful, nobody wants that crap.
Definitely.
Okay.
Now, what was interesting, we were content after this. We thought, no more unless they're very... We got all of our favorite vehicles. We got the TIE Interceptor, finally. That was the Amazon. We were... Cool, we're done. And around the same time, I think about 5-6 years, Hasbro said, enough doing these figures with the articulation and the, rotation, 27 points of articulation. I think I remember hearing it once. Insane level of quality. That was too much. We're going to go basic. We're going to go plain. We're going to make them for the kids. Cool. But we'll throw a bone to the collectors and we'll start going to a higher scale. I think I'm a little cynical, and I think they realized they had done literally everything that was ever shown in the original trilogy. Down to the point, there's a guy in Cloud City in Empire Strikes Back with an ice cream maker. He's in the back. You see him running in the back of the crowd.
They did that guy?
Yeah, it's a dude in a jumpsuit holding just a white little appliance, and they made that figure. They scraped every last piece out of the bucket, and they realized we can't keep selling the same 400 variations of
3 3/4 inch figures.
Dude, they did like Luke with tan shirt, Luke with gray shirt from background footage.
And guess what? Collectors ate it all up.
Oh, they loved it.
And you did too.
I totally do.
We have a huge bin of these figures, by the way. We're showing you just a couple.
Oh, yeah.
Show them a couple more real quick.
I just grabbed a couple of the more cool, like that. Still with the rubber banded gun inside.
Look at that.
Like this.
How old is that one?
This is probably 2010 too, I bet you.
I don't know.
05. Wow, that was even better than I thought.
You saw the gun on him.
Yeah.
Look at that. So cool.
Like I know one of the variations, black gloves were the space battles. Oh. And then on Hoth, he had gray gloves. So I'm pretty sure they did like a Snowspeeder Luke version of that where he's got the padded collar. They reached an insane level. Yeah. So it had to be something special if we were going to start collecting. Honestly, we've stayed away from the 6-inch collection until...
We really kind of just forgot all about it until... Doodle happened upon this Snowspeeder that you're going to see here, and this is the Holy Grail.
And you can thank my Amazon recommendations for this, because it said, hey...
This is the freaking Holy Grail of Snowspeeders, dude. And I, too, was doubtful. I was like, he told me about these. Like, oh, dude, this new Snowspeeder's awesome. I was like, whatever. And so Doodle bought it. So, saved up the money, bought it. By the way, this is a Cold Steel Kobun sponsor knife. AKC Extreme Auto Blade. So I guess this is not a kid's video.
Not so much.
Okay, the Holy Grail. Here you go. Show it to them. Look at this.
So the Black Series is 6 inches for the dudes. This being
is huge.
A very screen accurate version.
Look at this. Cannon falling off.
Yank stuff off. Awesome.
Look at this. This is a massive, massive toy
with a functioning harpoon, so you can
that falls
set it
off
up.
too.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, so the harpoon. I'm not really sure how you put that on. Is it right here?
I think it just kind of clips on.
Right there.
With the idea he can fire it just like he did in the movie, I guess.
It doesn't clip on easily, so we're gonna kind of deduct some points for that.
I kind of prefer this system though.
Well, I like how simple this is. So there's no hokey wind-up reel. All the kid does, or the collector, the 45-year-old collector, he'll just pull the line back and store it in the compartment.
Yep. Simple.
And the colorations are better. Look at it has differential colorations. Look at this. For lower speed brakes, I don't think those other ones had lower speed brakes, did they? Look at this one. With the hydraulic ram arms here. And those aren't functioning, they're just fixed in position. Those particular ones.
Isn't that cool?
That is rad. That is rad. Oh, those do move. Yeah. I thought those were fixed. My bad.
Sometimes the plastic will kind of get sticky.
God, that's cool.
Isn't that cool?
Show them the speed brakes too. Top side speed brakes.
Multi-hinged speed brakes.
Dude.
So you can bring them up all the way back. And you can kind of fold them down like that. Like they're just opening
so they're
up
kind of a
ready.
wing, providing lift.
Isn't that cool? Or all the way closed. Amazing rendition.
Look at the detail. So painted better. You've got lettering all over, so it's obviously it's a bigger scale.
Yeah.
Look at the worn edge of the canopy. Cool. Wear and tear, pock marks from battle damage.
It's fantastic.
Just really cool.
Dents.
This is a Black Series 6-inch scaled Snowspeeder. And they show them the battle damage, bro.
Oh, yeah. So this one,
just like the other one.
Really simple. You can pull this off. Boom.
Yeah, or not battle damage, I guess I should say hanger maintenance.
And they, unlike the other ones, they kind of put an eye into what would be under here.
Yes.
Well, we need to have the repulsor lifts. We have to have the reactor or whatever's powering that thing. Really cool.
I'll give him an A+ overall. It's not perfect. I mean, there's some things that could be improved, but you can't nitpick too much when, it's a big project. These are a big project to make. And they've made some other 6-inch vehicles that are amazing.
Yeah, they have a TIE
I noticed
fighter.
that thing's a bear to get back on.
Yeah. There you go.
There it is.
Ka-chow.
Okay. No electronics in this one.
Nothing. None needed.
Yeah, correct. Because what happens with electronics, as you see, is people forget to take the batteries out when it's stored or forgotten about. They'll corrode and then it breaks. Generally. Look at the muzzles on the cannons.
Very cool. I always got the impression electronics were what adults thought kids wanted, but kids never actually wanted them.
I think they're cool, but they require maintenance. This is another tricky thing. You got to kind of wiggle it and pinch it to open it. I like the material they make the canopy out of, though.
Yeah.
You want a cadet? I think you do want a cadet.
It is kind of cold in here.
Here you go.
It's that one little tab.
There we go. So that's the thing. See those barbs right there?
Yeah.
So I think we're not doing it right. I think you need to squeeze it like that. But look, you got harnesses in here.
He's got a harness. He's got a separate helmet.
He comes with a Snowspeeder too. This dude does.
It comes with another version of Dak, who's the guy that died that was flying around with Luke. He got his face blowed off.
He got his face blowed off.
So cool. He gets to drive for once. Isn't that cool?
And look at what they can do with the detail in here, dudes.
That was what sold me on it. When I looked at the listing, I was like, oh, that's cool. They did a bigger version of it. That's seeing the level of detail they managed to put into the back cockpit.
Yeah.
The rear freaking station. Like, you'd never, ever see that.
Wow, that's cool. And then you got all the actuator arms on the canopy.
So cool.
Full cockpit on the front. That is an impressive vehicle. So when he brought it to the house, I was like, I'm impressed. I don't impress easily, but I'm impressed. Here's the downside. This thing is friggin' huge.
Huge.
So if you can't really do setups with this. So if you're going to play with your kids with a 6-inch figures, and look at this. This is a 6-inch figure. They're big. And we have some in box that we've been showing you. There's a couple that we've got.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I have anything.
I'll take his helmet all the way off.
But you'll see him in the background, and we'll show him. We'll display him. But they're big. I like, for play value, the 6-inch figures are awesome.
They're great.
They're better than the 12-inch G.I. Joe size.
Yeah, definitely.
And so you can still do, with your kids, play value in the living room. But as far as setups go, when we're talking about the scales of the Snowspeeder, the Action Fleet, numero uno. That, for just play value, all these have the same play value just about for your kids. But these are the best because they're so compact.
Look at that. The front cockpit even has, if I can get it into frame, you have hands, the same freaking dash you saw. Isn't that cool?
That's cool. Was it worth the cost? These things are about $100, aren't they?
Yeah. Honestly, there's kind of a threshold where if it's cool enough, I feel like it's a fair investment.
Yeah.
With some of these. Because I've seen that with some of the cooler, like TIE Interceptors. It's going to be hard to lose.
But you hucked the box, though, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because the box is so huge. He doesn't have the room to store the box. So that'll cut down, resale because collectors love the box.
I'm not going to do that one.
I know. I did notice that the harness doesn't really fasten too good.
Doesn't. I have to pull the crotch.
But overall, you know what? Everything we've put on the table, it's basically an A+. For the era it came out, it's an A+. So there you go. We have all things Snowspeeder in this video. Look at that. Generational Snowspeeder review. That looks freaking awesome, by the way, right there.
Honestly, if I had to pick one...
the 2010.
Really tempting. Really tempting, or even the vintage. There is something cool about knowing you got the original.
I will agree with you. I think, these are neck and neck. They're the same. I might give a slight nod to the original because of the electronic capability and just the kind of nerdy cool that represented.
I think the only one that I saw in stores that I never got was this mold painted as Derek Clivian or something. And then they did another one that was crashed. So it was this in a diorama box.
I remember
in the
that
snow
one.
With the can.
I remember that one. That was rad.
Was cool.
And I think they issued some, I want to say micro machined ones that out of dioramas. That was a different toy company though.
Yeah.
That wasn't Kenner, was it? Or maybe it was.
There were some old die-cast ones in the 80s, and then the one was it Microforce for a while.
Yeah,
the
die-cast one. You have one of those.
Yeah, I do have one of those. I'd have to go digging for it.
Yeah, we'd have.
They were like small, kind of Army Men style.
Yeah.
They did a Snowspeeder for that one in diorama form. That was cool too.
At any rate, that's a pretty good representation of Snowspeeders. And if you like this video, make sure you tell us. Watch it. We'll watch the views on this, and maybe we give you another vintage Star Wars review.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being part of the donation community. Thank you for subscribing. The Nutnfancy project is raging on. Over and out.